You are now watching Zach Lesage, the best place to learn about competitive Pokemon TCG. Let's get it! Yo, what's poppin' peeps? Welcome back to the channel, Zach Lesage here. Today we are going to be covering over one of my favorite decks in the format, Gengar VMAX, and Gengar VMAX in Brilliant Stars does get Arceus V STAR. So V-Star Pokemon have a V-Star power. This one has Starburst. You can search your deck for any two cards. That does help out with Gengar's clunkiness a little bit here or there. So I'm really excited to try to bring these two cards together. I was able to acquire all the cards very quickly on PTCGO, so we are able to film this video. And I mean, what can you not love about Gengar? It has Fear and Panic with new V-Star Pokemon coming out. I'm sure players are going to be wanting to put them down on their bench. So Fear and Panic's probably going to do a lot. G-Max Swallow Up seems like it's going to be doing a lot. And of course, with Choice Belt, you could probably get some knockouts that you otherwise wouldn't. In this video, I'm going to be going over my deck list, the one that I've been preparing for players to play in Salt Lake City. I think it's absolutely an amazing deck list. That list is going to be in the description. You can copy and paste it right into PTCGO or PTCG Live if you're a part of the Canadian beta. And we also are going to be playing some gameplay, just kind of showing you what the deck could do. I'm not sure what decks are going to be available on the ladder right now, but we're going to check that out. By all means, give this video a thumbs up, help boost the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe to the channel so that we can get to 10k subs, and let me know in the comments below what type of Brilliant Stars content you want to see. So I'll catch up with all y'all in the deck profile, and you know what they say? Let's get it. So here we have it, Gengar VMAX. Now, Gengar VMAX is all about using Fear and Panic and G-Max Swallow Up. Those are pretty simple attacks. You're either looking at your opponent's Pokemon V, V-Star, V-Union, VMAX Pokemon in play, or you're using G-Max Swallow Up to knock out your opponent's Pokemon. At the core of the deck, you're really trying to power up Pokemon with Single Strike Roar. So once during your turn, you can search your deck for a Single Strike energy attached to one of your Single Strike Pokemon, then shuffle your deck. So it's a great way to power up Single Strike Pokemon, which Gengar is a Single Strike. You can see right there. That does allow you to get everything going on, accelerating energies and manually attaching those energies. Where Arceus V-Star really tones in, you're not going to be using it for Trinity Charge in this deck. You're pretty much not going to be using Trinity Nova, but you are going to be using Starburst to kind of search your deck for some really interesting cards. Cards that could be game-winning. Maybe you want to search your deck for a Path to the Peak, or maybe you want to search for a Houndoom, or maybe you want to be searching for that game-winning Karen's Conviction. Whether it's the beginning, end, or middle of the game, I'm sure Arceus V-Star can totally just be like that 1-1 that adds some consistency into this deck. We have a couple Crobats here. Even though we do play Path to the Peak, just don't play Crobat under Path to the Peak. Sometimes it's good to have that solid foundation set up on the first turn. Instead of playing Single Strike Urshifu, we play Stonjourner with Choice Belt. You're able to do more damage with Giga Hammer, so you have more attacking Pokemon. So the Choice Belt really adds up a lot here. You can see there, doing an additional 30, add that with some Single Strike energy damage. So this Pokemon can quickly build up a lot of damage, and it can hold its own against single prize card attackers. I know that Malamar, Durant, Darkbox, Mad Party, there's a few decks that are kind of popping out with Brilliant Stars, so maybe stay tuned for those on the channel later on. The other big card that we get into this deck is going to be Ultra Ball. Ultra Ball is a card that we've had in past formats, but in this format, it does allow us to search at anything, making this deck a little bit more consistent. So maybe you could search at a Crobat, or you could grab that Gengar VMAX. It's not Quick Ball and Evolution Incense or playing Cramomatic. We now have a way to securely search for things, which is going to be a little bit helpful. So I'm not entirely sure how many games we're going to get on the ladder. Like I said, Brilliant Stars just released, and I do want to get this content to you, but I will show you how this deck will work in the format. So let's jump into some gameplay right now. So we're going to start off this game by winning the coin flip. Let's get it. Yeah, we want to go first when it comes to this deck. And I mean, this hand's not bad. I like starting with Houndour most of the time, because you can always pivot into a single prize card Pokemon without necessarily putting down a 2 prize card Pokemon. And our opponent's likely just playing Mew, so we probably just hit a very good matchup. When it comes down to it, I think when it comes to Mew, you could just go all in Gengar. So let's go ahead and go Quick Ball away a Boss Order. Always start off with the easiest ones to discard. And we're going to start off by getting a Gengar here. So Gengar here seems very good. We're going to kind of go through, double check, see exactly what's going on. We have Gengar. Let's go ahead. Ultra Ball. We can pitch away the Switch and the Arceus. I think I'm totally fine with that. And I'm just going to go for another Gengar. The reason why I'm going for both is if our opponent knocks out Houndour, that's fine. I'm going to have a Gengar with an energy. If our opponent knocks out Gengar with the energy, then we have Houndour and can still attach an energy and go Fear and Panic. This is how you are able to checkmate Mew relatively easily. Always make sure that you have one Houndour in the equation. And let's go ahead and use Dark Asset, draw some cards. So I'm all about this. Our hand is getting even better as we go through it. We're not necessarily going to have too much else, so I'm fine to go totally Tower of Darkness. They might just bump the stadium, and then we can go Path later on in the game. So far, not bad. We have access to Crobat. We have access to a lot of things. This is one of the reasons why Gengar is the best deck and one of the best decks in format, because it beats Mew, which is also one of the best decks in format and holds its own against a lot of different decks. You might not always face against everything, and you might run into a Rapid Strike, but with Manaphy coming out in Brilliant Stars, I think that this deck has a real chance at actually claiming that number 2 spot. And our opponent's just going to concede there, something that I think is fair when you're playing a Mew deck because they can't do anything. So we're going to start off by winning the coin flip again. Going first, really great. We have a pretty decent start. Nothing crazy, but it's decent. We're going to start with Houndour. Again, I do like starting Houndour whenever possible, more than Gengar, because you never know when your opponent's just going to knock something out. Don't know what our opponent's necessarily playing here, and this might be the game that we might not be able to get Arceus out in these games. I do want to let people know that Starbirth is more of an afterthought in this deck, or a bonus effect. So before we put anything else down, I think I'm going to go Ultra Ball away, Single Strike Energy, because we can get that back, and I think I'm going to discard this, and I'm going to go for a Crobat V. Just to get set up here, and you can see we had the Arceus V prize anyway, so maybe my player intuition's just there. We're good with all the other rest of the Single Strike Energies. So let's go something like this. I think this seems completely normal and viable. Let's go ahead and go Crobat here. I want to hold on to the Choice Belt just in case we can get it on a Gengar. I think that would be really good. Not able to get it on a Gengar, but at least we have access to a free pivot out of this Houndour next turn. And we can always power up a Gengar V or use Marnie to put it back into the deck. I'm not going to say that Gengar has the best hands all the times. It's definitely a single strike deck and can certainly be a pile of cards. And what are we facing against? We're facing against a fire deck. I actually have no clue what we're going to be playing against. Charizard V. Gotcha. So we might be able to knock them out. They are a V deck. We have access to Fear and Panic. I'm not sure what their deck's going to be rolling off of. Magma Basin. Gotcha. So there's 2 energies already. Escape Rope. Cool. I'm fine to maybe sacrifice a Crobat. And they're just going to go pass. Gotcha. So I might want to just go like this. And, I mean, I don't see any reason not to put this on a Pokemon. I'm going to pitch his hand away. I don't want to give them anything else. We could just make them asleep. That's certainly a real possibility. We might be able to... I'm actually just going to go ahead and pitch the care... Actually, we want to get an energy first, because we do have the opportunity to get a knockout. So let's go like this. Let's add an energy back into our deck. We might actually be able to get the knockout on the Charizard V, which I think would be really cool. I think that's the big play. Because if we go get something that allows us to draw cards, I think we're chilling. Let's go ahead, pitch away our Karen's Conviction. Okay, so we didn't really get anything that allows us to do anything, but that's fine. Let's go ahead here, power up our Gengar, so at least we have something going for us. We were literally only like 1 card away, a Houndoom, able from getting a knockout, which also could have been an Ultra Ball, or it could have been a Crobat or something else like that. We could go in with Dark Slumber, but they could evolve out of it with Charizard V-Star. So what we're going to do here is bench another Houndour. We're just going to pass. We'll let them eat our Crobats. We're ready to go for a Pain Explosion next turn. And, I mean, we'll see how it goes. Okay, so they're playing Charizard Arceus, which is cool. There's an energy. There's their pass. And there's another energy for us. So we are able to get the knockout. Before we do anything, let's go ahead and pitch this away. Not a great start for us. That's okay. Let's go ahead and attach an energy here. We're going to play Switch. We don't want to use that ability yet. We're going to hold on to it. And let's go for Path to the Peak. Actually, do we want to go Path to the Peak? They can do 90 damage. They actually probably can't get the knockout. Part of me really wants to just 230 knock out their Arceus, so we don't need to play Path. And then maybe we could draw some more cards the next turn. Or we could go something like this. We could go Boss's Orders. They have a high chance of drawing into a Drizzile. Let's do this. They might just like concede the game at that point. And I'm going to put down Path to the Peak in case they have access to Arceus V-Star. Then I'm going to go ahead here and go for Dark Slumber. So our opponent, we might be putting ourselves in a rough position. We might have been able to play that a little bit differently, but we're going to rock with this one. It's really funny how you go Path to the Peak, drop that. But if our opponent wants to get out of Path to the Peak, at least we get out of that at the same time. So you can see how we can kind of deal with the pain. And if our opponent doesn't do anything, we're just going to go Pain Explosion, game over. So we were able to go for the correct choice. I wonder what our opponent's top deck is, but our deck can be ultimately very vicious as well. So let's call the coin flip, and we lost the flip. That's fine. We'd like to go first if we had the opportunity, but I mean, it happens. Hopefully we've got a playable hand here. Just like, we're only looking for a couple Houndour and a Gengar, maybe 2 Gengar, 2 Houndour, and we're absolutely chilling. Arceus V is a bonus card. We'll have to see what deck we're playing against. Looks like they're choosing an active Pokemon. In our hand, no basics at all, so it's going to be going right back into the deck. So let's go ahead and do that, see exactly what's going to be going on here. So you can see we have Houndour, we have access to a lot of cards. I think we actually have a great hand. We're probably going to lose all of our switching cards just with the discard, but I mean, it is what it is. As long as we're not playing against Rapid Strike Urshifu, we'll see how that goes. Looks like we're playing against a Malamar deck. So if we're playing against a Malamar deck, we want to turn our deck into a single prize card matchup. So that's something that we really want to do, powering up Houndour and really attacking like that. The fact that they're going first might make their start awkward. They're only really going to get kickstarted after they draw things. So you can see they might not necessarily have everything that we're looking for. We're going to go ahead and let go of that Karen's Conviction. So we're going to go with the easiest search first. We're going to go with something like this. So let's go ahead and grab another Houndour. We have access to Houndooms. We do have one of our Houndour's prize, which is something to note. Stonjourner can also be a strong attacker in this matchup. In late game, we want to go for a Gengar VMAX if possible. Or maybe we can go early game Gengar VMAX if it can tank a couple hits. Here, I think I'm just going to go ahead and Ultra Ball these two. I could always grab a Crobat, but I don't really want to put down other Pokemon. Let's go ahead and do something like this. Just grabbing another Houndour. Those are going to be the most important cards, and I'm just going to go ahead straight up to it, research away. So let's go ahead, pitch the Ultra Ball, and I think we're like relatively okay. I don't think the Path to the Peak does anything for our opponents. I don't think it makes sense for us to attack with Minccino here. I don't think there's a lot of things that we need to be doing. I think we have a lot of options. So next turn we should be able to go Houndoom, Knockout, and then we're good to go. Maybe it's a good idea for us to check to see if there's something else that we could grab. Maybe like we just pitch away a Path to the Peak. So let's pitch this away. Let's just grab a Stonjourner. I think Stonjourner is also going to be a strong attacker. And let's double check. So we have triple Urn. We have the energy. So we should be good for next turn. Awesome. So we're going to go ahead, pass our turn, and we really want to start drawing prize cards whenever possible. Fingers crossed our opponent does not draw any prize cards this turn. That's going to be something that's really scary for us to deal with. And I'm not sure if they play boss's orders. Some Malamar lists do, some Malamar lists don't. But this kind of shows the versatility of what this deck can do. It's not necessarily the most exciting game, but they got a pretty decent start. And you can see that they've already updated their deck with some Brilliant Stars cards. So if they are able to get out of the active spot, which I don't think they will be able to, because most of the time this deck only plays Tower of Water. Oh, I guess they play Scoop Up Net. They probably play Scoop Up Net to get out of the active. We might be able to knock out their active and run them through Pokemon. We'll have to see. So there's their energy. Do they have Scoop Up Nets? Because if they don't have Scoop Up Net, I think... Okay, so looks like we will be able to take the first prize card here. Let's start it off by going for... I'm going to go for Tower of Darkness for the Gengar VMAX. I think that's something that we could easily get rid of. That worked out great. We now have access to Houndoom. We could also just, like, you know, attach a Choice Belt to this Pokemon because it really doesn't matter. I don't think they play any Pokemon that would fall into that category. And we could go ahead, knock out our opponent's active, and Marnie them in the same turn. But before we do that, we do probably want to go for Single Strike Roar. So, Single Strike Roar there. Single Strike Roar here. And let's go for Marnie. So, maybe we can get our other Houndoom rolling this turn. That'd be amazing. And we got an energy, so we actually want to manually power up this one if it's possible. We're just going to go like this. We're going to go like this. And we are going to go with the other energy on that Pokemon as well. We also could have held onto those. So, I mean, manually powering up, we're going to just change that immediately. We have another one backed up, and we are able to go for Darkness Fang 90. What's helpful is this Malamar is also weak, so we can knock those out with just a simple Darkness Fang. And maybe Marnie knockout really will add up over time. The other thing that is slightly worrisome is if we run out of Houndooms. So we didn't necessarily knock out one of their big attackers, but if they ever do not have 2 to pitch away from their hand, we might be chilling. And with cards like Cynthia's Ambition, they're probably not going to miss, but one could only hope that it happens. So if you do find yourself playing against a single prize card deck, this is a viable strategy. It does show you what Gengar can do. So this would be against Malamar, or against a Mad Party deck, a Durant deck, maybe a Dark Box deck. Tone down your prize cards to what your opponent's offering up. And I mean, at any point, if they just kind of miss something, we could be chilling. I think we're going to struggle a little bit through this matchup the way that our opponent's getting set up. But it is what it is. They put down double Remoraid. Maybe we'll be able to tank a hit with a Gengar one of these turns. And we do have the Urn of Vitality as well, so they're not really playing around with our hand. I think we're okay. But I think they also are just going to knock out some Houndooms here or there and really put us in a tough spot. So I don't know why they discarded 3, because they only need to discard... Oh, they did need to discard 3. I'm doing my math wrong. That's okay. Yeah, now they have to discard 1, 2, 3. We had 40 on us. Yeah, still discarded 3. Okay, cool. Just making sure. Trying to do my math right. It's tough to do math with the singles prize card Pokemon. But let's go ahead. Let's go Urn of Vitality here. Let's go ahead, put those back in. Make sure that we can get these energies on Stonjourner so we can maybe go for a Lance Pulse. So let's go Single Strike Roar. Power up this Pokemon. There's 1 energy. Let's go Single Strike Roar. I was like, I did not use both Single Strike Roars. Let's power up this Pokemon. It is a little bit risky in case our opponent does bring this up, but I mean, if they do, we probably are dealing with something very different. I am going to go ahead and... I was thinking about putting Gengar down. I'm going to wait on it, maybe till later on in the game. Let's go for Marnie and, again, try to ruin our opponent's hand if possible. We also got the Hiding Darkness energy. That's really not too bad. Let's go ahead like this. Let's go ahead like this. So we are going to go Darkness Fang there. We don't really want to pitch away the Urn of Vitality, or sorry, the Urn of Vitality. So far we're kind of rolling through the prize cards. There's another Urn. Certainly not bad. The biggest thing that I'm worried about is that we're going to go through our Houndooms. Maybe it would have been better if we could have gone for Gengar first. But here, I mean, it's fine. It doesn't necessarily matter how it works out. It's the idea of how it could work out. So regardless if I played this game perfectly or not, that's not the point. It's the mindset of how this game is supposed to work out by attacking with single prize card Pokemon. That's where I'm kind of going with here. So definitely an interesting way. And our opponent, this is why Malamar is so good, because it has Cynthia's Ambition drawing up to 8 to try to get around. That's why we're probably going to see more Malamar. Think about that as you're trying to play your VMAX, V-Star decks. That single prize card decks can reign supreme. And our opponent does need 3 to get the knockout. They probably have 3 in their 5 card hands. But we'll have to see how it plays out. We're also getting into a little bit of a weird territory with our hand. Our hand's not the greatest here. But we'll see how that plays out for us. And yeah, I think that's tough, but at least we have the Stonjourner ready to go for the knockouts. And they knock out the Stonjourner, and then we have another Houndoom ready to go. This is a turn that I wouldn't mind getting a Marnie into a Gengar or something. That might not be bad. Maybe I should have played Gengar down the previous turn. There's their 3 there. So no Marnie for us. I mean, we're already down 2 Marnies. But people draw into a Marnie. Setting this up, I mean, our opponent, again, needs 3 to get the knockout. So at this point, I think I'm like... Yeah, let's go ahead. I don't think we're getting the Arceus off this game, so let's pitch that away. Let's go for Crobat because we need to have something going on with our hand. Our hand's not very good. I don't really want to put down 2 prize card Pokemon, but you want to know what? It is what it is. We did have to discard that, so we can't put single strike energies. At this point, our opponent would have to discard 4, so let's just try to manually attach twice to this Pokemon. We're going to try to go like that, so let's go ahead and go Giga Hammer. Giga Hammer will do 120, 140, 160, 160 minus 30. So with the 2 energies, it should be enough to knock them out by 10 H. Yeah. So math's right. So we are going through them as single prize card Pokemon. We do have ways around this. I can manually attach, get the energy, get a Gengar back, and maybe have enough to going for the rest of this game. Question mark. They're also quickly running out of Inkays, right? Like this, they only have one more Inkay. They've already wasted an Ordinary Rod. Will they get it back with Rescue Stretcher? Will our opponent have another Cynthia's Ambition? Will they be able to knock us out for another 3? Because we are weak to grass here. I mean, we can't use Giga Hammer, but maybe we can retreat and attack with Houndoom. We'll figure it out. So I think we're probably in a bit of a pickle. But if we can continuously like rock these prize cards, I think we're in a good spot. And if our opponent somehow misses, that's when we're in the best spots. So we have 1 prize card, we have 2 prize cards down. I mean, if we are able to survive as a Gengar one single time, I think we're good to rock through the rest of this game. But maybe not. I'm honestly not sure. I think we're going to cut this game close, but maybe this is a strategy that's going to get you a little bit closer than you had the opportunity to otherwise, right? Maybe you weren't getting this close when playing a single prize or playing against a single prize card deck. And maybe we do need another Stonjourner, or maybe we do need a more Pekko because single prize cards are something to consider. It's day 1 Brilliant Stars stuff, and it's some of my early Brilliant Stars PTCGO content, so we'll have to see how it goes. I think our opponent's definitely going to have the 3 necessary to knock us out. So there's the 3, boom, knockout. At least we can set up Houndoom here. Maybe our opponent will do the math wrong on the Houndoom. Well, at this point, I'm going to go ahead and Urn of Vitality. We can get back a couple more of our energies. We do have an energy that we can kind of go ahead and put here. I mean, I'm going to Ultra Ball away. We have 2 more energies left there, and how many Hiding Darkness energies do we have? I think I'm going to pitch this away, and I'm going to pitch away. If they have boss, they probably win the game anyways, so let's not worry about the switch. Think about actually what your opponent can do. If they go boss and they knock this out, we probably don't have a way to win the matchup anyways. So we are going to search our deck for a Gengar. I think that sounds like a very good play. And we will go ahead, thin our deck out of the single strike energies, because we want to be able to go single strike roar. We're chilling there. Let's go ahead and draw some cards. We don't have really any more abilities, so let's go ahead and pitch these out of the way. And I mean, with everything else coming into our hand, we have to decide if it's better to knock out their Malamar or if it's better to knock out their Chinchino. Their Chinchino might eventually lead to some more prize cards. Maybe we just need to try to get the Malamar so they can eventually run out. They only have 2 left. Maybe their Ordinary Rod is prized or something. Let's try to knock out this active Pokemon. So we're going to go Darkness Fang there. And again, we ran out of single prize card Pokemon, but we've drawn 4 prize cards so far. We have our other Houndour prized. It is what it is. We do have enough to knock out a Malamar with Dark Slumber, so that part's really cool. And I mean, I think we're probably out of luck when it comes down to it. We probably should have played Professor's Research. It doesn't really matter at this point. This is our opponent's last Malamar. If they do not find an Ordinary Rod, they likely will not be able to finish this game off. Because they have 3 in the discard pile, we knock this one out. If they do not have anything else, we're absolutely chilling. And I don't know if our opponent has it or not yet. Maybe they're just chilling onto the Ordinary Rod. Maybe they're trying to make it look like they have a dead hand. But they do need to get the 4 necessary for the knockouts. So that's really what we're looking for. If they miss the knockout, then I think we do win the game. Oh, there's their Scoop Up Net. And they can't use Rapid Strike Search again. So maybe this just turns a Scoop Up Net into a Remoraid. Okay. They should have everything. It's a weird order of operations that they're playing. But I need to hope that at some point that they might have 4 cards in their hand that are knots. I know that they at least have 1. There's 6 in their hands. Okay, they probably end up having it, right? It's one of those things where they probably just end up having it. Chinchino. Oh. Interesting. If they miss, this literally could be huge for us. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. I mean, really not what we were looking for. It was close, but I mean, they could have also been holding on to other things. Marnie here doesn't really even necessarily help us too much. We need to knock out their active. This puts the 4th Malamar into their discard pile. So let's go ahead like this. It makes it really easy when it comes access to Dark Slumber. 40 plus 20 is 60. 60 times 2 is 120. That's how that's going to work. I'm going to go for Urn of Vitality. If I could evolve into Gengar VMAX in any capacity, I totally would be doing it, pure peeps. Try to go for a large amount of HP at the end of the game. But for here, it's just not going to really work out like that. So we're going to go research and try to put ourselves into a better win con next turn. They're already pathed. I mean, we could put down another Gengar in case they have Escape Rope. That might be good. I am going to go ahead and just go Dark Slumber, Knockout. And if they do not have a way to get another Malamar, we will win this game. We're down to 1 prize card. So, I mean, considering our Houndour is literally our last prize card, I think we're in an okay spot. Considering they didn't play a 2 prize card Pokemon down, I think we did a really good job at trying to tone down our prize cards. So fingers crossed here that our opponent does not have an Ordinary Rod. Cynthia's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How many does our opponent need to have here? 40, 80, 120, 160, 200, 5. 5 gets them the knockout. And like I said, maybe they don't have it. Maybe they do. They could be chilling with a lot of things, so that's something that we really have to figure out here. They might just be chilling with the 1 Inkay. And maybe they're just going to go Ordinary Rod, Evolution Incense, play out their whole turn, and that's where it's at. Maybe they're looking through to be like, oh, Ordinary Rod was still in there. We can't necessarily determine, but Ordinary Rod seems like it's the only way for them to get back their 4 Malamars this game. Yo, we got the dub, let's go! We turned it into the dub! So playing through that match, we were able to kind of, not perfect, but we got there. So that's what we have going on for this video today. You can see that Gengar VMAX might not even come out. Sometimes you're just going to be attacking with Gengar V, and that's totally cool. Sometimes you're going to be attacking with Houndooms, as we saw. There's lots of different ways to be able to play this deck. And while I would have liked to get some exciting gameplay against Mew VMAX where I absolutely dominate them, the Mew player is going to concede almost every single time before, unless it's in competitive play. And if I ask any one of my friends to be like, hey, do you want to play Mew VMAX for a video? I'm sure they're going to say, nah, Zach, we're good. So what I recommend for you is to kind of explore this video. It kind of showed you what this deck can do. We played against a new Arceus V-Star deck. We were able to lock them out with Path to the Peak. We did isolate their Sobble before anything came down to it. We were able to get a Mew VMAX player to concede to us. That's a good thing, right? Like, you might be like, yeah, we didn't get a game out of there. Our opponent conceded because they didn't think they were going to get a game out of there either. And of course, we were able to beat a single prize card deck in the process as well. So lots of really good things going on with this deck. It might not necessarily have looked as pretty as we wanted it to in the video, but it does end up playing out decently. So give it a try. By all means, give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. Let me know in the comments what other decks you want to see, and we will get to those. I'm going to try to get some more content this week, just so that we have access to it as soon as possible. So hopefully everyone's enjoying Brilliant Stars. If you haven't already, pick up some codes at PTCGO Plug in code Lesage5 to save 5% on your order. It does help me as a content creator a bunch. So that is one of those things where I do get a bit of a splashback. Helps support me a lot, and it gets you 5% off the codes, which is absolutely amazing. If you are looking for any coaching, I do offer coaching on metafy.gg/@ZachLesage. Both of those links are in the description for both PTCGO Store and Metafy. If you're looking up your game, let me know. That being said, I'm going to go edit this video quick. I'll catch up with everyone later. Peace out and have a great day. I truly appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch this video. It means the world to me. And my goal with this channel is to spread my love of the game and knowledge with our entire Pokemon TCG community. If you haven't already, help signal boost this video to other Pokemon TCG fans by liking it, sharing it with your friends, and subscribing to the channel. Hopefully we reach our goals really soon. Check out this recommended video, and have yourself a great day. Thanks.